It's 4:30. This is WKYT This Morning. Dozens of people gathered in Pulaski County to remember a 10-year-old boy who died in a hit-and-run crash. We'll hear from those who were at the vigil.
Pastors of the Lexington Church say a man said he was interested in joining their church and ended up stealing from him after Sunday services, attracting the investigation.
And in West Virginia, many people are trying to put their lives back together after those deadly floods across the state. That and more ahead on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. Welcome in. Good to have you with us on WKYT on this Tuesday. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope you're having a great start to your day. You're getting those engines going and all that good stuff.
Something like that, right?
I'm struggling.
Oh, I know. It is early, definitely. Better weather and then even better tomorrow, it sounds like. But let's check in. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is here. Good morning.
Yeah, fantastic stuff coming our way over the next few days. Today's more of a day of transition because we'll probably get back into the 80s. But tomorrow, how about getting stuck in the 70s? That's quite pleasant for this time of year. We're at 72 this morning. A lot of upper 60s are also showing up across parts of Kentucky. Here's what we have on our Defender Radar Network. A little bit of shower activity exiting eastern Kentucky. Those are those lingering showers, and the reason I kept a small mention of rain in the forecast for today. But they are getting out of town. Daytime highs today, as I mentioned, with our hour-by-hour forecast, we likely end up in the mid-80s. But today, humidity down a little bit more, and the comfort level going up, especially tomorrow. We will track what tomorrow entails coming up in just a little bit, guys.
Okay, you're heading in the right direction. Thank you, Jim. Dozens of people gathered in Pulaski County to remember a 10-year-old boy who died in a hit-and-run crash.
Stanley Turner died a week ago on a road near his grandfather's farm. The candlelit vigil honored him, and people there also wanted it to be a reminder that police are still looking for the driver who hit Stanley. Victor Puente has the story.
As the rain fell, the voices rose. Those who knew and loved Stanley Turner had come to remember him.
This goes to show how much people around here care.
Turner was hit and killed 1 week ago near Rock Lick Creek Road in Pulaski County. Police say the 10-year-old walked off from playing with his brother when he was hit. The driver left the scene.
His goal, you could tell, was to please everybody. He was always wanting to help. What can I do to help you? How can we help? He was always offering hugs and just different things like that.
Tonight's vigil was to remember him and to pray for a resolution for his family.
It's discouraging to know that there's somebody out there that doesn't have the guts to come forward and say that they were the one that done it or admit to it. I mean, that's just, it's heartless.
Stanley would have been a 5th grader at Eubank Elementary School. His principal says they've discussed ways to honor him. When school starts back in the fall, there may be a memorial at the new playground where so many of his classmates will have recess.
We have new playground equipment going in actually in the last couple of days, and we're working on getting maybe a memorial bench in his memory for the kids can go to when they're feeling sad or just want to feel closer to him.
All I can do is just show my love for the family and how much I care. I don't care one bit. I've told them if they need anything, need any kind of help to let me know. I don't care one bit to try my best to help them out in any way that I can, because I know it's difficult.
In Pulaski County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Very difficult for them. Pulaski County Sheriff's deputies are working with Kentucky State Police to find that driver who's responsible. They said last week they were looking for a red car driven by a woman that was seen in the area around the time of that crash.
Well, he first showed up claiming to be interested in joining a church, but pastors of a Lexington church say minutes later a man ended up stealing from them. They say the thief took musical instruments, a purse, and after services at Lexington Korean Presbyterian Church on Reading Road, there were more discoveries. Monique Blair is tracking the investigation.
Service had just finished up at the Lexington Korean Presbyterian Church Sunday afternoon.
2 of my friends saw a visitor, stranger, sitting backseat of the sanctuary.
Pastor Hyung-gu Lee says after members gave the man some information on the church, it appeared he left.
So the church members went downstairs for lunch.
But a few minutes later, when there were only kids in the sanctuary, Lee tells me the man came back.
He asked them for some water.
But when the kids came back with water for the man,
he already disappeared.
At that point, Lee says church members realized one of the pastor's wife's purses was missing, along with a guitar and a viola valued at $1,000.
As an immigrant, foreigner living here in the States, $1,000 is not, small amount of money. It's huge.
Now, after the church members say the thief stole those items, they say he then came to a local Walmart and charged $300 to the pastor's wife's credit card.
Lee says although the church doesn't have a whole lot of money, they would have been willing to help the man out, had only he asked for it.
Even though it happened, it is sad, but we are not discouraged. We will continue to serve the community with what we have.
In Lexington, Monique Blair, WKYT.
And police say the suspect is a white man about 5'6", had short blonde hair and tattoos on both of his arms.
We have learned more about a crash in Wayne County that killed a person and badly injured another. Investigators say a log truck and a car hit head-on along Highway 92 east of Monticello. The driver of the car died. The coroner has identified him as Timothy Gregory of Monticello. They say his passenger, Heidi Kennedy of Science Hill, was airlifted to UK Hospital. At last check, she's in critical condition. Neither person was wearing a seatbelt, according to police, are still trying to figure out what led to this crash.
A music video producer and director is still in critical condition this morning. Lexington police say he was shot during a robbery. Police say Coleman Saunders had just gotten out of a taxi early Sunday morning near the intersection of North Limestone and East 7th Street when 3 men robbed him and then shot him. So far, police have not made any arrests in the case. Saunders has worked with many artists, including Kyle Douglas, Sunday Best, and J.D. Shelburne.
Coleman's helped my career. I mean, he's pushed my career to a whole new level. If it wasn't for Coleman, I'd still be where I was at last year. The work of his music video really took me to a whole new career level. We kind of hit it off like we've been friends forever. He was such a nice, polite guy. His work is extraordinary.
A fundraising website has been set up to help with Saunders' medical expenses. We have a link to that at WKYT.com. Well, it's just what people in West Virginia did not want to see, but more rain fell just days after those deadly flash floods.
It's devastating for them. People in many communities trying to put their lives back together after losing their homes. Craig Boswell has the latest.
The rain is falling again on already devastated parts of West Virginia. As communities try to recover from last week's floods, state police plucked cars out of several feet of mud and debris in White Sulphur Springs. Robert Hayes says he saw a woman inside this car when it was swept away.
I saw her inside clawing at the window. It looked like she was clawing at the window, and then it hit the bridge, and I never saw her again after that.
But Monday, nobody was inside or in the other one buried right next to it. Across the state, the governor reported nearly 24 people died in the floods. Thousands of homes were destroyed or damaged. The National Guard delivered medical supplies to the town of Raynell, one of the hardest hit areas.
This is one of the probably roughest floods that we've seen. I mean, it's pretty devastating to these communities.
This latest round of rain is complicating the cleanup for some, while other families say it's just too painful to stay and rebuild.
I think I want to go. Yeah.
This memorial marks where Michelle Vallandingham's neighbors lived. Floodwaters swept their home away as 3 people hid inside the attic. They all died. Craig Boswell, CBS News, White Sulphur Springs, West Virginia.
Well, the Bluegrass chapter of the American Red Cross says that 12 volunteers from Kentucky are now in West Virginia. They're helping with shelters and handing out supplies. Well, back in Kentucky, some people in Knox County are still cleaning up the damage caused by flash flooding last week. Donnie Carnes says the water damaged the bridge he and his family used to cross a creek to get to their home. That became a big problem when he says his father-in-law had a medical emergency. Carnes says the ambulance couldn't get across the damaged bridge, so he helped paramedics carry his father-in-law over the bridge.
What would we have done if the water had been back up again? I mean, we wouldn't have been able to walk him across.
Carnes says he's asking county leaders and others for help repairing the bridge.
A federal judge has blocked part of Mississippi's new religious objections bill. The judge ruled that circuit clerks in Mississippi cannot cite their own religious beliefs to keep themselves from issuing marriage licenses to same-sex couples. The religious objections bill is supposed to become law on Friday. The judge says clerks must provide equal treatment for all couples, gay or straight. WKYT This Morning is just getting started. It is coming up on 4:40 on your Tuesday morning.
Farmers markets are a summer staple. Moms Every Day shows us how to make the most of your next visit on WKYT This Morning.
We had some rounds of rain in here yesterday, but now the nice stuff starts to settle in. Some comfortable temperatures and drier air is on the way. We'll track the rest of it in just a couple of minutes.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Jim Caldwell.
Here we go, entering a very nice run in summer weather. We're going to get a break from the heat and humidity, and that's where we've been the past several days, and we're going to see nice stuff. How about daytime highs that are only in the numbers you see there, in the 70s? 72 right now in Lexington. Our daytime highs tomorrow probably only in the upper 70s. Fantastic pattern trying to come together here over the next couple of days. Even with today's weather, we end up in the mid-80s with just a little bit of humidity out there. It's going to be so little, though, that you're barely even going to notice that it's an issue at all. So, guys, I'm going to try to clear here, and that'll mean plenty of sunshine through the daytime hours today, which will help get us back into the mid-80s for highs. Here's the way the muggy meter breaks down the next few days. This is important because today we are just going to be in that humid category. This is really, yeah, I can feel it. It's not bad. But then Wednesday and Thursday, you'll be like, this is great. This is going to have almost like a fall-like feel, especially at night. We get deep into the 50s in several cases out here. So what we have here is a frontal boundary that's called essentially a cleansing front. It cleans up the air around us. We had phase 1 go through yesterday, spark some showers and storms. Now the second, bigger, stronger push enters the area today. Now it's not going to bring any rain with it, though, because we've already cleaned a lot of that up. Highs are going to fall 5-10 degrees, and they start today with about a 5-degree drop from yesterday, and then even more so into Wednesday. Much drier air, which means it's a refreshing air mass that becomes dominant around here. Hour by hour run through the afternoon. There you see those mid-80s breaking out across central Kentucky, even a little bit cooler to the north with some of the thicker clouds. Let's get into the overnight and into the early morning hours on Wednesday. There you find some 50s, a lot of mid-50s. That's pretty comfortable, especially considering we're just a few days away from getting into the first part of July. Now, let's get into the afternoon and evening. This model, which just continues, to push highs into the mid-70s only, not even the upper 70s for most of us. So mid to upper 70s for you on Wednesday. Look at this. Thursday morning, the final day of the month, and we're seeing 40s trying to show up across parts of eastern Kentucky, low to mid-50s everywhere else. That's going to feel downright cool as we move into the end of the week. And then on Thursday, upper 70s and low 80s, probably a safe bet. Now, our 7-day forecast, we'll roll that out for you, and you can see where we are. It's probably around 78 today, 80 on Thursday, not today, tomorrow. On Thursday, we're at 80. You can see the chances of showers and thunderstorms increasing around here Friday through Monday, and what might be, unfortunately, guys, a very stormy period. But let's live in the here and now, and let's enjoy the next few days.
Live in the now.
Live in the now, because it's going to be great.
Okay, all right, and it does look good next couple of days or so. Thank you so much, Jim. It is 4:46. Fresh fruits and vegetables from the farmers market simply can't be beat.
Yeah, they're delicious, right? Here are some tips to help you fully enjoy the experience of going to the farmers market in today's Mom's Everyday Minute.
Well, here's some tips that I like to do when I go to my local farmers market. Go early and scope everything out so that I can see what produce is there, what's in season, and I also bring my reusable grocery bags just like I would at the grocery store. Oh, and plenty of small bills so that it's easier for the farmers to make change. They'll thank you for that. One of the most fun things about going to the farmers market is getting to know your local farmer. So I encourage you to talk with them, ask them about their farm and the foods that they grow, and listen to their stories. It's always great to buy fresh produce when it's in season, but how do you know what's in season? Well, it will vary depending on where you live. However, when you go to the farmers market, what you see is what's in season. It's important to spend a little time planning before you go to the farmers market. You want to see what you have on hand at home and what you need, and also think about what you want to prepare that week so that you know what to buy and how much to buy. Well, here's a fun tip you might try with your kids. My son likes to eat the different colors of the rainbow, and if you try to find a different fruit or vegetable of every different color of the rainbow, it can be a bit of a challenge, but it can be a lot of fun too. And now he loves all kinds of different colored bell peppers. It's helpful to stick to your list, But I do encourage you to be a little bit adventurous. If you see something that you haven't tried before or something on sale, go ahead and give it a try.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com. Click on Moms Every Day.
4:48 now on WKYT This Morning. Good morning to you again. We're so glad you're with us, and we have a lot more news coming up on your Tuesday.
We've learned more about a couple who police say died in a Boyle County crash over the weekend. We've got more details when we come back. Welcome back in. We've learned more about a couple who police say died in a Boyle County crash over the weekend.
Police say an SUV hit a car head-on Sunday afternoon along Godby Lane. Investigators say two of the people in the car, Walter and Jacqueline Bremer, later died. They say the couple was going to look at a house at the time. Walter Bremer was a chef at Seasons Catering in Lexington.
Wally was an all-around great guy. He was always had a good attitude, never afraid to get his hands dirty. He would do anything that we needed him to do.
Police say the woman driving the SUV was seriously injured. They're still trying to figure out what caused the crash, but Boyle County emergency managers say that stretch of Godby Lane can be dangerous for drivers who are not used to it.
The chief of an Eastern Kentucky police department faces charges this morning. Police say she was driving while under the influence of alcohol. State police arrested Elkhorn City Police Chief Crystal Davis after a crash in Pike County. They say Davis was not on duty at the time. Police say they did notice a strong smell of alcohol on her, and she admitted to having 4 or 5 drinks. She did refuse to take a blood test. The Elkhorn City mayor says Davis has been suspended without pay while the investigation continues.
It just really hurts me that it's happened. And I know things happen in people's lives that they don't mean to happen. But a lot of things happen that really ruins their life. And it's, I'm sad that it's that way, but, at least nobody was hurt.
Well, Davis pleaded not guilty to DUI. She did not return calls for comment. The mayor says Davis has been Elkhorn City's police chief for about 6 months. Deputies in Laurel County arrested a mother they say put her children in danger. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office says Crystal Johnson passed out behind the wheel of a car outside her home. Deputies say her 2 young children couldn't wake her up, so they ran towards a busy road looking for help. Deputies say Johnson's mother, who lives nearby, finally heard the children and called for help. They say Johnson admitted to taking prescription medicine and drinking alcohol. She's been charged with wanton endangerment and public intoxication.
Time this morning is 4:53. It's 7 before 5. And coming right up, we're going to take a look at some of the stories our news team is working on for you this morning.
Yeah, we also have another look at your Tuesday morning forecast.
Good morning and welcome back into WKYT This Morning, 4:56 on your Tuesday.
Hope yours is off to a great start. Let's take a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
Today, the Bluegrass Area Development District is going to be holding a news conference. They say they'll address allegations by the state. Those allegations include some programs within the Bluegrass ADD. We're looking ahead to that news conference and the issues involved coming up at the top of the hour on WKYT This Morning.
An Eastern Kentucky ambulance driver suing a Breathitt County special deputy after the ambulance was pulled over with the patient inside. The driver says he didn't do anything wrong. We're going through the details of the case on WKYT.
And we expect a nice day today, but Jim says the gym is tomorrow.
Oh, good one. See what you did there.
Yes, I did that, yes. Upper 60s, low 70s right now, guys. But here's the wonderful part of this. Tomorrow, we likely end up with 70s for highs. Now, we'll be in the upper end of that, but with lower humidity, a lot of sunshine around, should be a really nice run in the weather world. We've had plenty of rain. We're in good shape as far as that's concerned, but we are going to have a nice little run here. Let's break it down. Today, mainly dry day, cold front. The second part of this, we had one go through, sparked some showers and storms yesterday, and the big reinforcing shot of cooler and drier air is on its way through today. Wednesday, fantastic day. That's where we get stuck. That's a good place to be stuck in the upper 70s with the lower humidity. And then we get into Thursday. It's another nice weather day with highs back right around 80 degrees. We are really going to be able to enjoy the middle of the week. We appreciate you being along with us. We'll be back in just a moment.